Pennsylvania. Noah Adams at 8-3 on the year. And he'll battle the Bucknell transfer, 6-3 on the year, the redshirt senior from Dubois, Pennsylvania, Tom Sleigh.
All right. You can call it Dubois if you want.
Yes, or I could. Dubois.
Yep. That'd be like going down to the southern part of West Virginia and calling it hurricane.
Yeah,
that's right, man. You're in trouble, dude.
Adams 2-2 in duels this year. Sleigh 2-1. Mentioned Bucknell transfer, 3-time NCAA qualifier. As you mentioned, the Hokies had a hole at 197. Lost an excellent one last year. West Virginia native.
Get off the edge. Get off the edge. Somebody in the center. What's in the center?
And he's hanging heavy on that head, boy. He's hanging heavy on that head, trying to pull him down and forward, and two things, right? Tire you out and
out of the stalemate.
And what you're really hoping for is not only get tired and you can pull him forward all the way that you'd like to, but you're hoping that he'll stand up a little bit so that he doesn't get his head pulled down, and then you got some opportunities to get underneath him. But the reality is, I don't know that that's really Adams' game. You know, I don't know that he's the, you know, banger brawler type. I think he's got some opportunities to be pretty slick and pretty smooth when he wants to be. He's got some explosiveness, and I think it's just a matter of putting some of those things together a little bit better. He showed that on other matches before, right? So there's a shot, but here Adam doing a nice job in trying to get himself around the corner, and he kind of lost him. He's going to lift. He's got an opportunity to get a takedown or near fall. No, none of anything yet. The idea, you want to keep your head up. You got plenty of time on the clock. The question is whether we're going to get a stalemate now, which we probably will, based on the fact they're twisting the heck out of one another's ankles. They're letting him wrestle, though. Now we're going to get a stalemate. So a nice scramble, right? So, I mean, Adams has some really nice feel for certain things, and he does some things really well with his hips, and I just think he's got to use a little bit more of that to his advantage, and at the same time, you know, not try to do some wild things occasionally, which has gotten him in trouble in a couple of matches, too.
Well, I think a kid that has a lot of talent that benefited from that redshirt year last year, being able to compete unattached and not have to worry about claiming a spot in the lineup because Jake Smith was here.
Right.
First period passes by without any scoring, but like you said, Noah Adams off to a good start.
So, he kind of reminds me a little bit, not in certain ways, in terms of, you know, where he came from, not being a real super well known from a wrestling standpoint, right, and maybe not always having the greatest competition, but being very athletic and having a good feel for stuff, but also what that means is there's a learning curve as you're going through and competing on this front end of your career, where you take a little pounding even though you're showing some flashes of things. And it reminds me a little bit of Dominic Black in his first couple of years here. He took some poundings, Nick did, before really starting to put it together in his junior year, and by his senior year, I mean, he was one of the top people in the country and ended up with third place finish. So, and then went on to compete internationally and did extremely well. So. You got to start somewhere, and you just got to keep working at getting better from where you're at. And I think Adams shows some of those signs and tendencies if he continues to work hard. And that was one thing about Dominic, man. He was a hard-working dude. Still is.
Adams trying to wriggle off the bottom.
Well, he's got an opportunity. He's trying to look at an escape number one, but hopefully he was trying to look for the near fall potentially, right? And the reversal and near fall, but he gets a nice escape. And I would count that as an escape, right? That is not a
Yes.
like you let you go and whatever.
First lead for West Virginia today, 1-0 here in the second period. 51 seconds of riding time in Tom Sleigh's favor.
Well, and look, and I think this bodes well for Adams in the match itself, right?
Yes.
Because usually your challenge is getting off the bottom, and he was able to get off the bottom relatively rapidly in the period. Didn't spend a lot of time down there so much, and it was in a pretty good position most of the time where he wasn't getting beat up down there. Now the issue is he going to be able to find a way to get some points on his feet? I mean, he's at 97, but you can see body-wise, his body's not as mature as Sleigh's, who he's wrestling. So, you know, he's got some room for growth from that side of things too.
3 years of age difference is a lot in college wrestling in terms of that, but
well, college period, right?
Yeah.
Because you're 18 to 21 or 22 is a big difference in terms of your physical maturity.
Adams though one top in more ways than one. 1-0 his lead as he tries to keep Tom Sleigh on the bottom.
Oh, he's got. Oh, Sleigh really turning hard. There's no points yet for an escape. There's one. Don't give up two. He's going to give up two for a reversal. He's going to give up two for a reversal.
Virginia Tech bench yelling for it and getting it.
That was close. That was close to some significant near fall points, and Sleigh just does a nice job of continuing to bridge his way through it and keep rolling, gets enough torque to be able to get back to his belly and get himself out of danger, and then eventually gets the escape.
So,
reversal.
So Adams did so well to get out in the second period. Now he has to do it again, down 2-1.
That should be a warning for stalling right there. He's been on his feet. We got called 3 times already. Now he finally takes him up and brings him down. Now the riding time's building up, right? We're at 50 seconds. We're getting close to that minute. And right now Adams is struggling off the bottom, right? So he's trying to push up with his hands, but what he really's got to do is get his knees back up there. There he goes. Use your hips, get your knees, and then work your way back up to your feet.
Under a minute now. Minute 10 now of riding time in Sleigh's favor, and we go out of bounds. Tim Flynn off his feet. Some applause and some encouragement for Noah Adams.
Look, Adams got a chance. I mean, you're talking about a guy ranked in the 16 across the board, right? He's ranked in that area, and he's in the match. He's got a good chance with 50 seconds left in the match. He's got to get off the bottom. Not the more explosive start off the bottom. And he sort of let him in that spiral ride. Now he gets his hip up and is up in the air. But when he comes down, so what he's going to have to learn to do when he comes down and he hits, he stays flat like that, you're going to get buried. And when you hit, you got to bounce, recover your knees real fast, get your knees back up under you, get your hips up so you got a chance to pop right back up and go back up to your feet. Right now he's going to spend the next 15 to 20 seconds getting buried down here in the bottom, and he may not have an opportunity to do much of anything. He's going to get ridden out.
Again, with that riding time point, even if he does escape, he's going to have to get a takedown.
Right.
Well, Adams running out of time. 6 seconds left in this one. Tom Sleigh, 3-time NCAA qualifier, using that experience to ride this one out. And with the riding time point, it'll be 3-1 in favor of the Hokies 197-pounder. And the match score now goes to 14-0 in favor of Virginia Tech. And
I mean, that was a nice match.
Yeah, good stuff.
I thought so. I thought he